I'll turn sideways, and we're going to start by just some basic where the cues are for your legs. So right down in neutral position, that's the place that I'm going to use to ask the horse to lift his back and round his back. Not supposed to walk forward there, Hammer. Right there where your legs hang. That's the middle position. Now, if I want to move the hip, I'll slide the leg back and push to move the hip. Let's turn back around. And if I want to move the shoulders, that one is right here, right behind the girth. Now, when you have a horse that's learning those places, what I usually do is I'll spread those out just a little bit, just so it's a little easier for the horse to understand. Right behind the girth, you can't move it further forward. It needs to stay right behind the girth. If you spur in front of the girth, it's considered inhumane. It's a 5-point penalty. You never should be spurring in front of the girth. So that one stays right there, right behind the girth. But the one for the hip, you can slide it back a little bit further for a greener horse to get the idea. And then as you're developing the cue, developing the movement, you can bring it down a little bit closer. Because when you have a horse that's pretty high-end show horse, you want those cues actually fairly close together so that you don't have to move your leg a whole lot to reach each button. So those are constantly being refined into smaller places. Depending on the horse is going to depend on how I refine those spots. If I'm developing a horse that pretty much I'm going to be the only one showing, I'm going to bring those down into some pretty small areas. But now, like Hammer here, I'm training him for his owner to show. So I'm going to leave those places a little bit bigger. They're going to be still defined, 1, 2, 3, A, B, C, however you're used to calling them. But I'm going to leave them a little bit bigger. I'm not always going to cue in the exact spot because I want him to adapt to his owner. And the other part of that is you get different riders on different horses. You want the horse, if it's not exactly in the same spot, you want the horse to think, well, what is he asking for? Let me try to figure it out. So that if it's not exactly in the same spot, you still get some of the correct movement. If you have a horse that's only ridden by one rider, that one rider only asks in one exact way, and then a different rider gets on, that's where you get a lot of confusion with the horse, and the horse feels untrained or not very refined in the cues because only that one rider has ridden him, only been in that one spot, and the horse hasn't been taught to try to figure out what the rider is asking for.